Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2022 model year launch from Audemars Piguet, launched for the 50th anniversary of the Royal Oak. This was the company's first ever Royal Oak chronograph in black ceramic. So there's a lot going on here. This is a flyback chrono in black ceramic with titanium hardware and a remarkable degree of scratch resistance that seems tailor-made for a Royal Oak. So let's talk about what this watch has going on. In 41 millimeter diameter, you can see in profile 12.5 millimeters thick. Now Audemars Piguet claims 9.7, which seems like crazy pants territory considering the disparity. I can only assume that they're measuring the case alone, either without the bezel or without the case back. But the bottom line is 12.5 isn't onerous. It wears flat enough. From lug to lug, the case measures 51.5 millimeters, and then if we measure from these intermediate links, these little plots as they're called, from side to side, the total rigid distance across the wrist is 55 millimeters. Now, one reason people often pass on ceramic watches is they're concerned about them feeling toy-like, and that is often the case with ceramic watches, including many of the ceramic Royal Oaks. But for whatever reason, this one is a bit more solid and it feels more substantial. There doesn't seem to be a big gap here between what I would expect if this watch were metal and what it is as a ceramic and titanium hybrid. So it's not freakishly light. In general, anything over 120 grams is going to start to feel fairly substantial, and the watch in my hand and potentially on your wrist has enough of a solidity that it will not feel like a toy. You will need a sizable wrist, though. It's not a small watch, and you can see that on the wrist. My wrist is probably the smallest that can wear this. Don't think big Royal Oak, think little offshore, and you have the general idea. I would even say it wears more like a 42 or a 43 millimeter round watch if you wanted some sort of approximation, but it is thin enough, and you can see even with the fudge factor in the thickness, with a sloped bezel and a relatively shallow case band, it's not that thick in the big picture. It'll fit under a cuff much better than an offshore will, and that includes shirt sleeves. Take a look at the downward angle of the lugs. This helps to mitigate some fit issues, giving you some hope if your wrist is maybe 15 centimeters, but mine is 16, and I think that is lower limit ideal for this watch. The thing I love about ceramic is that it hates what I hate: scratches. And given the degree of nuance and time-consuming surface decoration on a Royal Oak case, bezel, and bracelet, it is reassuring to me that this material is able to shake off almost all of the conventional scratches and scuffs that will scar a conventional metal Royal Oak. And it is artisanal. Every facet that would be polished or brushed on a regular metal Royal Oak is here finished identically. So whereas it takes about 9 to 11 hours to finish the bracelet of a standard Royal Oak, this takes more like 33. So yes, everything is scaled up, including the artisanal involvement. Because of the nature of construction of a ceramic bracelet, Audemars Piguet has opted for these retaining bars for removable links, so you'll need a block and punch if you want to size this at home, but it's not overly complicated. Take note that there is a intermediate-sized sort of link and a third right here, in case you find yourself in between sizes with the conventional links. The clasp, like most of the metal hardware on this watch, is titanium. You can see here brushing and media blast. It is a double fold, and unlike a lot of Royal Oak clasps through the years, it's not a sequential. Either side will close first. We have thick gauge titanium and a twin trigger here, so this is very secure when closed. Taking a look now, you can see that this watch is rated to 50 meters of water resistance, and it has a screw down crown. So for surface swimming, not deep submergence, not crazy diving, but surface swimming, this watch is suitable. Taking another look, you can see some of the nuances. We have wonderful fluidity and coherence here, where the bezel crease continues into the mid case, continues into the case back. We have this lovely expanding bevel across the lug hoods. You could see beveled fastening on the crown guards. We have polished pushers, and their shoulders are satinated. Note the crown as well as the shoulders for the pushers are hexagonal, just like the bolts, and they are bolts inside the bezel. You can see that the bezel, rounded octagon, just like Gerald Genta's original 1972 Royal Oak, and the inspiration was a vintage diving helmet at the time. Now this is a flyback chronograph, so reset and restart without first stopping. Great for timing events that occur in rapid succession. Here we have what is described as a grande tapisserie. It is not the tapisserie that you find on the jumbo, which is the petite. This is the grand, and it is the larger of the pantograph cut hobnails. That is important because you could see all of these tiny micro textures created by the 19th century mimicry lathe that actually cuts these dials. If you have the mega tapisserie on something like an offshore, that is going to be a stamped dial, but on the jumbo and the sub-offshore Royal Oaks, you're always getting a lathe cut dial, and that's important to me. AP, getting this part right. You want to make sure that fonts are the same uniformly. So if you look at that 2 is the same as the 2 on the register. We have polished little chapter rings for the sub-registers, which are symmetrical on this generation of the Royal Oak chronograph. Note that the hands, the logo, and the indices are all gold, so they won't tarnish or oxidize with time. We have a respectable amount of luminescence, so you can read the watch in the dark. And then a feature that I love on the standard Royal Oak is the mirrored inner bezel, and here they have polished the inner face of the ceramic to deliver that same effect. I'm going to pull out the crown now and demonstrate some of the subsidiary setting modes. You can see how we have stop seconds, so we can set the watch to a reference time. We also have an intermediate position that allows you to quick set. And it's a fairly high-geared quickset. There you can see the 6 and the 6. Everything is coherent. It's a fairly high-geared quickset, so it jumps with alacrity as you turn. We'll show how the date turns. Some people sometimes ask, is it instantaneous or a dragging date? It is instantaneous. Now, in terms of the chronograph's operation, you saw the flyback function. And now I should probably talk about some of the underlying hardware. We've got a column wheel for function selection. And it's very crisp. Previous generations of Royal Oak chronograph used the Frederic Piguet 1185, and while that is a column wheel, it's not a particularly positive column wheel. It's good enough for a movement developed in the 80s, but I feel like this was probably workshopped to get exactly the right snap, and it really does snap. Taking a look at the seconds hand, this is a vertical clutch system, so there's no extraneous movement or jump forward when you start the chronograph. Lateral clutches can have that problem. This is vertical, so it won't. Also, due to the vertical clutch, you can leave the chrono running full-time if you prefer. It'll run down the power reserve faster, but you'll have center seconds, and if you wish to zero reset and really use this as your running second, you can use the flyback for that purpose. Turning it all over, you can see what I mean when I talk about titanium hardware. There it is, the case back's titanium. And this is a watch that was launched for the 2022 model year, and you know if you're looking at the 2022 watch because it'd have a 50th anniversary rotor. This does not, so it's subsequent production, but rest assured these are rare exclusive application pieces, and there are not a lot floating around. The movement is great looking and large. It is a 32 millimeter caliber, which is nice and large. The previous in-house AP automatic caliber, which was the 3126 in chronograph applications, that was only about 26 millimeters. This is 32, so it better fills this case back. You could see ceramic ball bearings for greater winding efficiency, and if you look very closely at the center of the rotor, you could see it's actually a rounded octagon, just like the bezel. The rotor is blackened gold, and you can see it's been interior beveled and skeletonized with these sharp inward angles. This is a hand-finished part. Most of the movement is a combination of mechanical finish and hand finish, a judicious blend, but price appropriate and very common in this segment, including Holy Trinity. Now take a look at this little, get that out of the way. Take a look at this little mechanism here, right under my finger. That's actually a visible vertical clutch, and while there's not a whole lot to see, it's one of the few visible vertical clutches in the watchmaking world. It actually does look pretty cool. The column wheel is across from it. We can see a full balance bridge and a free-sprung Gyromax style balance for shock resistance, and in the case of the Gyromax balance, also for very precise adjustment. It's a 4 Hertz beat rate and a 70-hour power reserve. You can see we've got engine turning, we've got stripes, we've got satination on wheels, polishing on screw heads in the column wheel. engine turning on the base plate, and also on some of the bridges with satination on springs. It's a really good looking movement, and again, it properly fills this case back. It feels and is premium. It's a 40 jewel, so high grade in every regard, and Audemars Piguet's sports watch caliber that also appears in the offshore, so it is a very tough movement that is everyday reliable and almost overqualified for use in a Royal Oak chronograph as opposed to a Royal Oak offshore chronograph. But hey, more is always better. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.